Another day. Another time to ride glaring challenges as teachers living in deprived and hard-to-reach areas move to deliver on their mandate. It's barely daybreak, and we have set off to one of these areas in the northeast region to see things for ourselves. From the northern regional capital to the Mamprugu-Maugduri district could take up to 3 hours. And here, one of the most conspicuous things you'd see is the roof of a classroom block completely ripped off. This is a Yagaba RC primary school, and recent rains have rendered the block inhabitable. Pupils in the affected classes have had to be relocated to a school nearby. Mohammed Musa Dab, finance officer at the Mamprugu-Maugduri District Education Office, says the situation is worrying.
You can see for yourself, part of it was ripped off by rainstorm. I think it's about 4 months now since this damage was caused. And up to now, we have not seen any headway in terms of putting the roof back. And so we wrote to Assembly, appealing to them to see how best they could assist us. Because of that, we have removed the pupils, moved them to a nearby school. And as I speak to you, the classes are choked. Teaching and learning is so distracted because of the numbers. Teachers are not able to manage them. So we don't know. And we don't know when this problem will be fixed.
In the only classroom spared by the rainstorm, some pupils are in class and their teacher is taking them through some lessons. Few meters away from here, the road network has been cut off by water. This is not a water body. This is the road linking Yagaba in the Mamprugu-Maugduri district to some 5 or 6 other communities way behind us. Whenever the rains come this time of the year, every year, it cuts out everything. Socioeconomic activities grind to a halt. Teachers are unable to move from one end to the other to teach pupils, many of whom are dotted across communities like Sakbaba, Prema, So, Wuyima, Kusobi, Namu, and others, all of which are way behind us. And so you would imagine teaching and learning are affected. Economic activities, women and children, farmers are unable to cart foodstuff from one side to the other. And this is a yearly ritual for the people. Al-Hassan Tijani is a teacher at the Yagaba RC Junior High School whose journey to school has been affected.
This area is cut off, and it is very difficult for teachers to access those communities to teach. And in fact, last week, colleagues of mine were coming from Sakbaba, and when they got here, they could not access the road because of the water. So they left one of their bags in the dry land as we were coming. And they used one to go, and they went with a canoe. On their way back, when they came, the area or where they left the bag was full of water. And in fact, it affects teaching and learning because teachers cannot access to go to that area to teach.
It is not the first time Al-Hassan Tijani is having to endure the risky ride to and from school. This alone is a disincentive for the teachers who give their all in these parts.
The Ghana National Association of Teachers, GNATH, has scaled up its commitment to ensuring improved access to treatment for teachers battling cancer. Together with the Sweden-Ghana Medical Center, SGMC, GNATH provides teachers and members on pension with free cancer treatment.
Effective this particular year, when you retire and unfortunately something like this thing happens to you, the center will take care of it.
And on top, the Ghana National Association of Teachers also seeks better conditions of service for members in hard-to-reach communities, as well as aiding better access to the professional development of members.
Apart from the professional courses, we are going to have programs for our members, that members will be moving to Abankro to have a field and also get continual professional development from the institute.
Learn more on TV3. Make a date with GNATHour every Wednesday at 5:45 p.m. and Sundays at 1:30 p.m. GNATHour, hope for the Ghanaian teacher.
I was a teacher in one of the communities there. One time I was on my way to school, and when I got here, I couldn't go because the water was flooded. I had to board a canoe to access the road, and our way, we had the canoe near even collapsed, and our bikes fell into the water. And in fact, it was difficult. It was a very worrying circumstances we were in. And you could imagine the indigents there when they are sick and they had to go to hospital, and the innocent children who are being affected as a result of this, because teachers do not stay. And most of those communities there are no teacher quarters. And it is difficult to even have a teacher posted there. And when they even come and a yearly ritual like this, most of them go and never come back. And it affects the teaching and learning in the area.
Northern Regional GNATH Secretary Lydia Adetuk admits the situation here is challenging.
Yarba is in the northern region, but due to the poor nature of roads, we have to pass through the upper east region to Yarba. And we spent close to 5 hours driving from Tamale to Yarba just to get to the school that we visited. They are just cut off from the northern region. One cannot travel from Yarba to northern region or to the West Mamprushi, and that is where Yarba is. Yarba is located within the West Mamprushi district. Now that they are cut off, how do they access the Ghana Education Service Directorate? How will they even go to the hospital for medical attention? So we are calling upon the government and all stakeholders to come to the aid of our teachers.
It's been more than an hour of observing how residents are navigating their way to and from town under these circumstances. Those who are able to cross over have to pay 2 cedis to a canoe operator. Zakaria Yakubu is a farmer at Laugri who has to pay 10 cedis daily to access his farm using the canoe to cross the flooded area.
Life is tough in this area, and as a farmer, having to pay 10 cedi to use a canoe to and from my farm is a huge burden. The water body disrupts our lives, and we need government to fix the road as soon as possible to deal with the flooding problem.
The floods literally affect our livelihoods. It's a struggle to and from our farms. We have to pay money to be ferried across with a canoe.
But yet la kokobga katidu uncheng kutu hama varwa. Ema kunandizu ama badiela lagaho.
The problem gets even worse. During the rainy season, we appeal to the government to fix the roads so we can go about our work in peace.
Has there been any response to the road accessibility challenges of the people here?
Last week or last 2 weeks, the MP of the area was here, and he came with a contractor that he will be constructing the road from this end to where the river is. But we don't know when the actual work will commence.
Well, as long as this situation persists, pupils and teachers living in these areas will continue to be at a disadvantage.
As a teacher, how are you preparing for your retirement? And how are you investing for your future benefit? Do you know that when you join the Teachers Fund of GNATH, with a minimum monthly contribution of 50 Ghana cedis, you could secure a great retirement package for yourself? The Teachers Fund, as a retirement supplement scheme for members of GNATH, offers you the opportunity to plan for a fulfilling life after active service. For more details, visit any GNATH district office across the country and talk to our officials. You can call the fund on 0302 429 888. Reach us via WhatsApp 0509 331 260. Or visit our website www.teachersfund.org.gh. Teachers Fund, saving today for a brighter tomorrow.
The 2022 United Nations Research Institute for Social Development report found extreme deprivations persist in the Global South, despite substantial advances towards eradication of poverty and advancing human well-being. The report also reveals disparities in access to education have negative implications for inequality because they have an important role to play in perpetuating inequality over the life course of children. These inequalities are playing out here in the Mamprugu-Makduri district of the Northeast region. And at the Laugrit No. 1 primary school, the reality greets you. Absence of school furniture has compelled pupils to sit and lie on the bare floor to study. The classrooms are congested. Not enough space to contain the 1,000 plus pupils of a primary school. Sugla Singha is a teacher who handles classes 1 to 3 all by himself here. He was posted here barely a year ago after having taught a cumulative 20 years across the region.
There's no furnitures and no teachers. So, and the enrollment were about 1,366 in the school, both KG and the primary school. And there's only 6 teachers. So no table for us. Even the textbooks too, we don't have textbooks. But last assemble gave us some few tables. So they just maintain the upper primary, even the upper primary too. So they just sit on the floor. But the lower primary, no single table, no chairs for the teachers to sit. So we're sitting on the ground, marking the people's exercise. So there's nothing for us.
Some of the teachers, he says, abandon the schools and leave once they come to witness the poor conditions here.
So since I came here, there's no teachers. No teachers. We are about only 6 teachers. But now 2 are just reported. I'm now just, okay, I'm teaching P3, class 3. But since they are not there, I'm just going around P1, 2, 3. So I'm now taking all the classrooms. P1, P2, P3. 2, 5, 10, 2, 6, 12, 2, 7, 14, 2, 6, 18, 2, 7, 18.
For now, there are only 3 teachers supervising the entire school, from kindergarten to primary 6. Reuben Jabuni is one of them. He is the assistant head teacher. He knows the problems facing education in the districts so well.
I realize that teaching in Northeast, especially Mampugu Maduri, is different. Not different in the classroom, but the children are suffering. You realize that the children haven't got furniture to sit on. And teachers also commute from far communities to teach the children.
Only last year, the school was giving 15 desks. But with the sheer number of pupils here, that number is a drop in an ocean.
It's not enough for them, even one class. It's not enough for them. My class, for instance, there are about 98. There are 98 children in that class, P6. You know, the 15 furniture cannot even survive one class. So it's really disturbing that you enter each class and you see them sitting on the bare floor. Personally, when I enter to teach and I see the children on the bare floor, I feel pity, because it's like Maduri is neglected. I don't feel pity for this school, the children, but I feel pity for people in Maduri in general, because it's not only Lorry that is having a few furniture in the school. It's all the schools in Maduri. So it's just high time that NGOs and government comes to our cry. If not, education here is not just good. And personally, I feel bad when I enter class.
Reuben and Sugla are breaking their backs to ensure the over 1,000 pupils in the school gets the needed tuition despite all the glaring challenges here. They, like many teachers in these areas of deprivation, have sworn to live by their pledge to offer themselves for the greater good of society. But in their way stands the obstacles of lack of road access, inadequate furniture, poor infrastructure, and teachers' accommodation. Chairman of the Ghana National Association of Teachers, GNATH, for the Northern Region, Atalongia, has been on the trip with us to see at first hand what the living and working conditions for teachers in the region are.
Our teachers are still prepared and ready, staying at their various stations, teaching under these hard conditions. It's not easy. I want to use this opportunity to express my gratitude to these teachers who found themselves at this particular very hard to reach places, teaching and then prepared to serve Mother Ghana. We want to bring all this to the attention of the government, other benevolent organizations, to come to the aid. So I just want to use this opportunity to bring to the notice of the government that in our collective agreement, there are some incentives that we have agreed and government signed for our colleagues who are sacrificed themselves to be serving us from these various parts of the region, that we want to appeal to government to try as much as possible to implement some of these collective agreement just for incentives for our colleagues who are here. For example, they have to reach, we have 20% of your gross salary as a package for you. Accommodation is also there, and any other allowances that are legally due to the teachers in our collective agreement.
The Sustainable Development Goal 4 targets to build and upgrade education facilities that are child, disability and gender sensitive and provide safe, non-violent, inclusive and effective learning environments for all by 2030. This target addresses the need for adequate physical infrastructure and safe, inclusive environments that nurture learning for all, regardless of a background or disability status. But clearly, in many areas in the Northeast region, the challenges mean the targets remain ambitious and far-reaching on the evidence of the reality of the situation here.
You see, the postings are always done from headquarters. They just post the teachers. I will appeal that they should listen to what some of us are saying. We are on the ground. We are there and we know the situation. They should always send the teachers to the various regions, from the regions to the districts, so that they know where each and every teacher, as at the time they've brought, where they can be able to go and work. Look at where we are coming from. And you are sending, you are transferring, you are posting a teacher right from Accra to this place. Maybe, for example, our sister who is here with that little baby. How is she going to travel from that place to this place? And what kind of sound mind will she have to be able to teach? You understand? So we want to appeal to GES so that anytime they are going to do the posting, they should liaise with our authorities at the regional level and then the district level so that they will be able to assist and then they can bring them. I know not all the community, but we have some of the communities where their children or natives have attended Winneba and some of the training colleges. You understand? They have, most of them have qualified and applications are lying down there. If you pick them and you bring them back to their community, they grew up there and they know the terrain. Actually, they will be able to serve. Actually, 4 or 5 years, if they are going, other people will also come.
If the road is good, it will help the teachers to report at the school in good time. But if you are to spend 2 hours or 1 hour to the school, then we say the teachers don't go to school. They are not punctual. Lateness, absenteeism. Go to the school and see the conditions under which they live. There is not even a house there for them to rent, because in the rural communities, they build the houses for the family. When we were traveling along the Yendi route, we realized that some of the cottages that were built some time past by the government for the teachers, they are now left for the animals in the communities to use that place for shelter. So if a teacher is posted, for instance, the newly trained teachers who were posted in February, and some are yet to receive their salaries, where do you expect them to sleep?
Hands down. Up, down. Eyes closed. The closing prayer.
But these teachers would hope their pledge of living to teach would not fade away with the magnitude of challenges that threaten to erode all the small gains that have been made to better the lot of children in these rural areas. The teachers certainly do deserve better. Komla Adum. For that hour.